So I get asked all the time, how do I get started in investing? And more importantly, how do I get started investing which in an area that seems complicated, multifamily properties? Well, it can be complicated, but there are people who've learned the steps and teach the steps. One of my colleagues is a master in the area. He's also speaking locally. I wanted to get a chance to chat with Abbas Mohammed. Abbas, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. I appreciate that.
And you're coming to SoCal.
That's right. I'll be there for a couple of days. It's going to be awesome.
So you are the guest speaker at the LA Real Estate Investment Club on Thursday, January 12th, the second Thursday every month. We host this event. We call Culver City, but it's really West LA on at the Iman Center. And this is an event that we have every month where we have about 250 people who show up to listen to great speakers like you. And we also have a vendors expo with about 50 vendors like me who are there, professionals who are in the business. But the great part is there's no cost to the event, there's no cost for parking, and we have a great speaker this month in you, Abbas. So, Abbas, tell me a little bit about what you're going to talk about for our speakers when it come on the 12th.
Yeah, so really when you think about investing in real estate or investing in multifamily, a lot of people think that investing in the bigger assets, the big apartment complexes is actually more difficult than it actually is. So what I'm going to teach people is how do you go from zero apartments to investing in thousands and thousands of apartments. And usually you could even do it for a cheaper investment than you would if you were buying a single family house. So I'm going to teach people how do you find the right location? How do you find the right deals? How to negotiate with brokers? What's the difference between being a passive investor versus an active investor? How much money could you make being an investor in apartment complexes? How do you run the numbers? So basically, everything people need to learn in order to go from zero to doing their first purchase, whether they want to do it on their own or investing with somebody else. So I'll just kind of go over everything and give people all the ins and outs. There's information that I'm going to be sharing there that I've paid literally tens of thousands of dollars for. People pay $25,000, $30,000 for coaching. I'm going to teach you the exact same things. And also I'll give you my experience now that I've invested in thousands of apartment units. So I'll teach you everything for free. You're not going to have to pay for anything to attend the event. So I think it's a no-brainer in my opinion.
Well, I think it is. And I have to tell you that I've spent thousands of dollars to learn this material. And my best investments are multifamily properties because they are easy. I have a full-time business as a real estate broker. I focus on probate real estate here in LA, but I don't invest in LA, so I invest in other states. I found a couple opportunities, but I'm always looking for good deals. So tell me, Abbas, I know rates have gone up. People were about the market in real estate. Are there still good places to invest for people who want good returns for their money?
So I'll tell you my opinion on this. In my opinion, the interest rates going up has been the best gift that actual real estate investors got, because what happened is prior to that is that the market was just crazy. Everybody was paying prices that were just way too high, unreasonable. And so since interest rates have gone up, it brought market back to reality. And in my opinion, over the next 12 to 18 months, we're going to have the best buying opportunity in probably the next decade. So I am personally going all in the next 12 months. I'm going to be investing the most amount of cash I've ever invested in the next year because there's going to be a lot of deals. And that's what we're going to talk about at this event is why is the next 12 to 18 months the best time to be investing? How do you select the right markets? How do you choose the right deals? How do you avoid the bad deals? How do you get the right debt? Because especially going into the next few years, you're going to have to select debt very, very carefully. So we're going to talk about that as well. But I mean, in my opinion, if you're not going to be investing in the next 12 to 18 months, you're going to be leaving a lot of money on the table. This is probably going to be one of the biggest wealth transfers that we will see in many, many decades.
I mean, again, I meet all the speakers who come to our event, but I agree with what you're saying 100%. In fact, personally, I'm sitting with cash. I'm looking for opportunities myself, and I see the multifamily as the place to go. Why do you think multifamily properties are, given the change in environment? I mean, there's stocks have come down, and cryptocurrency. People say it's a time to step into some of those other investments. Why do you think multifamily real estate is such a good opportunity right now versus well, just in general, why do you think it's
Yeah, just other assets, absolutely. So, I mean, I've looked at many other assets before I started investing in multifamily. Originally, I used to be a real estate, single family broker. And so I thought about building a single family portfolio. I also thought about stocks. I thought about crypto. And then eventually I found out more about commercial, multifamily, offices. And after carefully studying it, I decided to go all in years ago on just multifamily. And the reason behind that is that, especially in times like this, I don't want to buy an asset where the value is just dependent on what the market sentiment is, dependent on just what the interest rates are. I wanted to invest in an asset where I could go in, increase the bottom line profit margin of the property itself, and therefore push the value up. I wanted to be in control of the value. I wanted something that's more, there's nothing recession proof, but I wanted something that's recession resilient, and multifamily is probably one of the most resilient asset types out there. And so in the long scheme of things, in the long run, it's very recession resilient, which is great, especially if you're going to be investing in the long term. Like, I'm not thinking about investing for 6 months. I'm thinking about, hey, how am I going to invest over the next 5 years, 10 years, 20, 30, 40 years? And so that's why I chose multifamily. But the other thing, like I said, is that, because of the fact that the value is based on the income, I could control the income. And so therefore I could push the value of the property regardless of what's happening in the outside market.
Well, I think one of the real attractive parts of multifamily is the cash flow, right? You get into a deal
Phenomenal.
and you get some money right away. Now, I'm a real estate professional, so when I invest in a limited partnership, I get a huge tax break year one. I almost get 20% of my investment back in lower taxes year one. So there's tax benefits for all investors, not just real estate people, correct?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the tax benefits have helped some of my investors save thousands of dollars that they would otherwise have had to pay to the IRS. I mean, personally, I'll just tell you, in my situation in 2021, I ended up getting close to about $800,000 reduction in basically in my taxes, and I ended up getting $250,000 payback from the IRS that I otherwise would not have gotten because I invested. So you get the depreciation, which is, in my opinion, it's almost like an unfair advantage, to be honest with you, because we get such a great benefit that people don't realize. So there's the depreciation, you get the cash flow every single month, and then on top of that, you get the appreciation on the back end as well. So, I mean, between all these different things, it makes it very hard for something like, crypto or the stock market or even single family houses to compete with how good multifamily investing actually is.
It's amazing. So I'm sure you deal a lot with people, because the reason I started in this path is people came to me saying, how do we get started? I said, well, I'm not really teaching that subject. I'm an investor. I've invested for myself, my family, but I'm not, capable of teaching and helping people. That's what you do. How do you help that person who has been watching and coming to meetings and reading and watching podcasts to get that first step, to write that first check, take that first risk? Where do you help them get over that first threshold?
Yeah, I mean, especially in multifamily, you're writing big checks if you're doing it actively. If you're investing passively, you might be investing 50,000, 100,000. If you're actively investing, meaning you're putting the deals together, you might be putting larger amounts than that. And so the reality is, for you to be able to make such a big decision, you have to have confidence. And the way you get confidence is by getting education. Because if you're not sure what you're doing, you're never going to be confident. Right. Once you know exactly what you're doing, then at that point, it's just a process. You follow the process, so you know what the outcome is going to be, and so then it's easy to make decisions. And so, in my opinion, when you're learning, you have to understand first how to choose the right markets, because in my opinion, that's one of the most important things. If you invest in the wrong market, like, for example, you live in LA and you just told me you're never going to be investing in LA. You're investing out of state.
Never.
Right.
Never in the city of Los Angeles.
That's exactly right. So you have to understand how to choose the right market. If you choose the wrong market and you do everything correctly, you're still going to fail. So you have to choose the right markets. Then you have to learn how do you source deals, because once you're in a brand new market, say Dallas, Nashville, whatever, how do you get deal flow from those markets? And then how do you run the numbers? I've analyzed, literally just this year alone, I've analyzed hundreds of deals, and I flew all across the country, and so I track a lot of data, and so I'm going to teach people how to analyze deals. But then also, once you find the right deal, how do you win it? Because it's not all about writing the highest offer. There are other things that sellers want where you could offer and then get those deals under contract. So then once you do that, then the next step is, well, how do you raise money? If you're doing it actively, how do you get other investors to invest with you? Or if you're passively investing, how do you vet the sponsor who's bringing you the deal? Are they qualified? Are they going to be good at what they do? So there's that process as well. And then afterwards, the next thing you have to learn how to do is, well, how do you run the property? How do you select the right property management team? How do you run it correctly so that way you meet your business plan and, again, improve the income, because the income of the property determines the value. So we're going to discuss all of these things at the meeting. I think, like I said, it's going to be a no-brainer. If you're available, you have to show up for this event.
Okay, so for more details, we will once again share the information. He'll be the guest speaker at the LARIC event, LA Real Estate Association Real Estate Investors. On January 12th, 6:30 p.m. is when officially the vendor expo starts. He'll be speaking about 7 o'clock or so. But come beforehand, you'll meet 50 vendors like me. Come up and say hi. I'd love to talk to you. And I know Abbas will walk around as well. And then additionally, if you're in the Ventura area or Oxnard area, the night before, January 11th, he's speaking there as well. Same topic, same program. So you can go to either the Oxnard Ventura one or come and visit me at the Los Angeles one on Thursday, July 12th. Abbas, thank you so much for your time today. It was great meeting you. Looking forward to seeing you on Thursday, the 12th.
I appreciate it. Look forward to it as well.
Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.